Well, hello, sports fans. Larry Eater, Conversations with Larry. It's all Larry all the time. We'll keep it down to 5 minutes. This is 5 deep thoughts about the Boston Marathon. First of all, the Boston Marathon happened this year. That's fantastic. It's for the first time in 125 years. It was in the fall, October 11th. Indigenous Peoples Day kind of got them into a little bit of bad publicity, but they worked out of it, and they did a nice job. And it's just the nature of the beast. The event was well run, about 15,000 plus finished. Congratulations to the city of Boston, the BAA, longtime sponsors Adidas and John Hancock, and the fans on the course. It was great to see fans on the course. I watched both the broadcast done on Peacock, that was the U.S. broadcast with Paul Swangard, Kyra Goucher, and of course, I'm going to forget the wheelchair expert, but the whole crew was fantastic. And they had done Chicago, so they did 2 broadcasts in 24 hours. And I just thought the coverage of the wheelchair races was more detailed than I've ever seen, and it was well done. And it was an interesting broadcast. The coverage of the men and women's races was fantastic as well. Paul Swangard, the voice of Hayward Field, and Kyra Goucher, a fantastic marathon Olympian. She was in 2007 the bronze medalist in the 10,000 meters in Osaka, which I got to see. She has moved into announcing, and she's a natural, but she obviously does her homework, and she has a intensity that is relaxed. She knows her stuff, and she gives us the information that we need to know, as does Paul, and they have fun with it, and I think that's great. So great broadcast. Incredible production of event. Men's race, Benson Kipruto won it, but the interesting thing, the person who got the most time on TV was CJ Albertson. He led till almost 21 miles. So CJ was a 2:11:18 guy. He is the community college coach and founding coach of Clovis Community College's women's cross country and track and field team. He was a fine runner in high school and a good runner in college. He trains. There's a method to his madness, but he trains as if he was a painter. It's by inspiration and what works, and it does work. And he ran close to his best pace, even though he looked quite relaxed, up until 21 miles, and then kept his stuff together and outkicked some people and finished in the top 10 in Boston his first time there in 2:11:44. So congrats there. First American was Colin Benny, 2:11:26 in 7th place, but it was Benson Kipruto who really broke away from people and won in 2:09:51. Lemmy Berhanu, 2:10:37, and Jamal Yeamer, 2:10:38. Jamal, a fantastic 10,000 meter runner. I got to watch him at RIK in 2017 in his debut half, and just, wow, he was impressive. He and Lemmy Berhanu came down to the last couple meters, and Lemmy just got by him. I don't think Jamal could barely walk afterwards, so that tells me what kind of a race it was. But what was interesting to me was the pack let CJ get away up to 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and then they brought it back. It was a very interesting, strange day, but it was a good race. And on the women's side, good races on the women's side too. On the women's side, the women's pack stayed together, and they were very, very conservative. They went through the half in, I believe, 1:15. Diana Kiploggett won in 2:24:45. Edna Kiploggett, 2-time world champion, gold medalist, 1-time world champion, silver medalist in the marathon. She's won New York, she's won Boston, she's won London. She's 40 years old. Second place in 2:25:09. Mary Ngugi, 2:25:20. First American, Nell Rojas in sixth place. She was there the whole time, 2:27:12. Almost got her dad, Rick Rojas's personal best in the marathon. And Rick, some of you will recall, 1976 U.S. cross-country champion in those great shorts that Shorter and him wore because they were, ran for Colorado. And and Rick coaches her, which is kind of cool. But Nell ran a great race. Totally impressed with her way she put stuff together. And it was cool. I mean, it was just a good, solid men and women's races. It lived up to the Boston tradition. It was a smaller group, 15,000 finishers, but there was virtual people. 20,000 people did the virtual race, and most of them were running through the city streets, and on the course on the Saturday and Sunday. Again, Boston, I wasn't there. Chicago and Boston for one of the few times in my life that I haven't been at those races. And again, it's the pandemic. I think we'll be in better shape next year. Just got my booster, a Moderna booster for my Johnson & Johnson one shot, and feeling good. I haven't grown any horns yet or anything like that. But yeah, Boston was a fantastic race, and everybody involved in it should be very happy. Adidas did record clothing and footwear sales again. Most of it was online, but it was people who went to the expo told me it just wasn't the flavor of years before, of course, because a lot of people are afraid of going into big places. And the city fathers and city mothers and the city and the BAA and Adidas and John Hancock all did good things. And there was remote pressers, and safety was the utmost concern. And they did a great job, even with all those things. So congratulations to everybody involved in the 125th running of the BAA Boston Marathon. And it should be back next spring. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And we hope to be there. Oh, and thanks to David Hunter, who wrote our men and women's pieces. And if you haven't read them, you should check them out. He did a great job. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun. This is Conversations with Larry. Our topic was 5 deep thoughts about the Boston Marathon. Thank you for viewing and listening. Thanks to Mike Deering, our production manager. Stay safe.